That'd be some water.
Yes. Just a second, she's getting in the water. You can go ahead and start. She can bring it down.
Okay. Just for the record, again, your name's Ernie Shell. Is that Ernest, Earnest? Or
Yes,
without
I
a name?
spell it different ways, but yes, it's EARNEST.
And what's your date of birth?
12/31/79.
So you're the older brother.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you share the same father?
Yes, ma'am. Did share the same father.
And you mentioned a little bit that you make masks. Are those Jason masks?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that I'm going to ask some questions that you may be like, that's kind of dumb, but we're trying to tell everybody
Yes, ma'am.
background, right?
What kind of mask did you say?
Hockey mask.
What kind of mask?
Hockey
Jason
mask.
masks,
Jason
hockey masks. That's related to the Friday the 13th movies.
Yes, ma'am.
And you make those for collectors?
Yes, I make them for collectors and the Friday the 13th Hall of Fame for the new video game release. I made all the masks for the video game. They used in, I think, the mocaps and all the physical actions.
Have you ever used a handle or an online nickname to promote your masks?
Yes, ma'am.
And is the Killer Inside one of the handles that you use?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you made videos about the Killer Inside?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you involved with a horror convention in Knott County?
Yes, ma'am.
And so horror and Friday the 13th movies, those are the kind of things that some people would call hobbies, but it's more than just a hobby for you.
Yes, to a point. It was. It's not now.
Have you ever written a screenplay,
A screenplay.
like for a movie or a TV show?
No, I've got one coming out.
Okay. What show have you got coming out?
It's a new slasher film. It's a whole new genre of things.
So a new,
It's nothing to do with Friday the 13th.
okay, but a new slasher horror type movie.
Yeah.
Are you currently employed outside of your Jason mask business?
I was until this.
Okay. And what was your last employment?
Queen City Railroad.
You mentioned in testimony that you've been a bounty hunter.
Been a bounty hunter.
Okay. Were you licensed?
Yes, ma'am.
And what states do you?
State of Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Were you ever a deputy in Tennessee?
No, ma'am. I was a corrections officer in Tennessee.
Corrections officer.
Chief corrections officer in Sullivan County Community Corrections.
Can you state that county again for the record?
Sullivan County Community Corrections, Kingsport.
So you've never claimed to be a Campbell County Sheriff's Deputy?
Campbell County. No.
You've never had a Campbell County Sheriff's Deputy ID badge, for example?
Campbell County. No.
Okay. And you don't claim to have ever been a Sheriff's Deputy in Tennessee or Kentucky?
Never
or
been
anywhere?
a sheriff's deputy nowhere.
Have you ever claimed to work for a fugitive recovery team?
I've owned my own fugitive recovery team.
You have your own fugitive recovery
Pretty much, yeah. I don't have no more.
Okay. And did your fugitive recovery team work for a law enforcement agency?
No.
That was your own private
Bail
insurance?
bonds. No, we just set up our own teams, different bounty hunters. It's licensed. They come together and we team up and we.
What's your license number in Tennessee?
I don't think I have the card, but you look it up online. So there's an online thing for it. Actually, it might be right here. No, that's Texas Services. My TAP BA number, let's see, at the time was 115-755-099. It was a license number. But I actually have the NPIR, which is a National Producer Insurance Rate number for bail bondsmen. So I actually have one of those, but it was expired in December, my birthday, December 13, or December 31st, 2018 was the last.
Do you mind if I approach? I just want to see the card.
I don't, oh, you see the old card. Yeah, I've got it. This is my TAP BA. But you'd have to look my other one online. I don't have it yet. The NPIR I don't have.
Do you mind if we make a copy of this?
Yes, go ahead.
Can we make a copy of this?
It's outdated, but it's all I have left.
While we're getting that copy, you mentioned boxing. I think I thought that you were into wrestling and MMA, but did you say you were a professional boxer also?
I was a professional boxer in Indiana. Had 4 fights.
Is there any licensing for boxers in Indiana?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you have your license?
There's an online license agency. I've not done it in 16 years. Actually, it's going to start back here in April. They offered me a professional fight in Knoxville under John Faust, and I was going to be reissued a new license.
But you also do participate in MMA and wrestling?
I'm one of the founders in Kentucky of mixed martial arts.
And did Jimbo Collins or James Collins also participate in that with you?
Yes.
In MMA and wrestling, I guess, to put it simply, were you a good guy or a bad guy?
And MMA and wrestling. In MMA, there's no really a good guy or bad guy. I mean, wrestling is the one that portrays. I've worked both sides.
So you promote and tell stories about the wrestlers and grow your brand. Is that something that you do?
No, I never promoted wrestling.
Okay.
Only MMA. And at the time, it was not called mixed martial arts. It was called NHB, no holds barred. Reality Fighting Championship was the name of the company when I first done it in Harlan, Kentucky.
And you've promoted in Bluefield, West Virginia also.
Yes, that was a wrestling thing. That was a co-promotions in Bluefield, West Virginia.
And you hired off-duty police officers to do security for your event, correct?
Yes,
And you failed to pay the wrestlers, correct?
yes.
And those police.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Thank you. I just didn't refer to this.
I'm objecting to the questions concerning failing to pay, things of this nature. One, I would object for relevance. Two, I would object for prejudice, outweighing probative value. Just say that he hired an off-duty police officers and didn't pay them.
What's the relevance of all this?
Well, it's true, but I can stop with that question and move on.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of out in the weeds.
We are, but everything that goes to bias and credibility is important.
Well, how does that go to his credibility?
If he doesn't pay people he says he's going to
That's
pay,
not credibility.
That's not credibility.
but I'll move on.
Move on. Disdain.
Now we've got 4 times more items online to give you more Michaels than ever before.
May I say something?
No, if there's a question, you can respond to it.
Okay, you didn't let me finish the.
You'll have a chance, I'm sure.
Okay, that's fine.
Now I have some maybe dumb questions, but you're Shelby's brother, so thought I'd ask you while you're here. Do you know where Shelby lived in 2013, thereabouts that February?
In Berea,
Okay. Do you know who he lived with?
he lived with his wife,
Do you know her name?
Laura.
Do you know
I have no idea. I can't remember.
Shelby? Uh, Did you have a romantic relationship with Ronnie King?
With who?
With Ronnie King?
I've never met Ronnie King.
You never met Ronnie King?
Never met Ronnie King.
Did you have a romantic relationship with Jimbo Collins?
No,
You've never kissed him?
no,
Do you have sex with other men?
no,
So you don't claim to be bisexual or gay?
no,
And you don't have a profile on Life Out?
no.
Did you date Laura before Shelby married her?
Yes,
Have you dated Pam Ray Stidham?
no,
Have you dated Lucinda, Cindy, Lay?
yes,
Have you dated Amanda Brown, Amanda Gaylor?
dated or my wife, ex-wife.
Either one works.
Yes, thank
You went to Marvin Lipford with your story about Shelby first, correct?
you. Yes,
That kind of got me off my topic, so I'll go back over to it. You reported, I'm just going to bring up some things that you reported when you spoke with Marvin and spoke with Detective Cornett.
hmm
Okay. You reported that a bookshelf was turned over and that Shelby searched for a book that was full of money.
It was a secret hidden compartment book is what I heard. So that's all I know. There was really not really much going on with that. Except for he just stated that. He didn't describe the book. He just said it was one of those compartment book things.
You said that Shelby was wearing your backpack and your SWAT boots. Is that correct?
Yes. Well, he had my bag. I don't know if he had my backpack or not. If it's a backpack, it's just a little black bag.
At one point, it's possible that you may have told them that Cindy was Shelby's girlfriend. Do you think you could have been mistaken?
After it was over, I mean, yeah, I guess he contacted her and weaved her in. I don't know. But she contacted me and told me a bunch of stuff with Chevrolet. I don't even know that even part of it. I don't remember talking about that.
So in February of 2013, at the time that this murder was being investigated, Lucinda Cindy Lay was at times in a relationship with you, correct?
Yes.
You said that Shelby thought his fingerprints were on the door.
The door, the blinds one. It was the blinds mostly he had touched.
And you said that he cleaned the blood or tried to clean up the blood.
I can't remember. I can't recall.
Would it be fair that if you don't recall and I say that you said he cleaned up the blood, that's probably true? I don't want to replay it. I've got a transcript to refresh your memory, though, if you'd like.
I don't know. I don't think he tried to clean up the blood. He slipped in the blood. He told me about he was sliding in the blood. He fell in the blood.
So on those shoes that were yours,
Mhm.
you would expect that there would be blood from the crime scene,
I mean,
based on what Shelby told you.
on the pants leg, he had blood down it. I don't know what side of the pants leg. I can't recall that, but he said when he slipped and his knee hit the blood or something, and it splittered or something. It's just like
You described certain items that Shelby allegedly told you came from the crime scene.
Mhm.
Did you describe any guns or revolvers for the police?
the gun.
Is it possible you had trouble remembering the color of any gun handle?
Gun handle. Yes, right now I don't remember. The gun handle wasn't hardly visible. The only thing I ever seen on it, like I said, was the blue. It was a blued up 357 38 is what I know it was.
Did you report to the police that Shelby told you that he took Ronnie's tapes, security tapes?
Yeah, he said he took security and or whatever. I mean, I don't know. But like I said, Shelby was always back and forth. He would say this, he would say that. He would come back and try to fill in gaps. So half the things you said was fake, some half the things was real. That's just the way it is.
And you didn't really explain how Shelby got there or how he got away from.
I've heard two different versions. Shelby, after it was all over and everything, is mentioned two different versions. But one is that he parked the car. One, that was nothing really. He said he parked the car. He had a car and he had a truck in one time. And it just that's all he said. He never really elaborated on that and how he got there. So
What kind of vehicle were you driving at the time?
it was a Dodge. What is it? I can't remember. It's a wagon. There's a Dodge wagon, little car. I can't remember the name of it right now.
Is that a Dart?
No, it was. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I can't remember the name of it. It's like a station wagon Dodge. What it is, I can't remember. I've had numerous cars. It was Lucinda Lay's vehicle, by the way.
Was that your vehicle or was that Cindy's vehicle?
I just said Lucinda Lay's vehicle.
So, in the story that you've told the police, some guy gave Shelby a ride. You don't know who,
No, I have no clue.
but it wasn't you.
Nope.
And you reported that Shelby burned his clothes in Jones's Creek.
Burned his clothes in Jones's Creek.
It's not my story.
I don't know. I don't recall it. I don't know. I can't remember what he said done with the clothes. He burned them or something. I can't remember exact locations, but he did say something about getting rid of them. So
Have you ever stated that Shelby's fingerprints came back from a national database?
I don't think no.
Have you ever stated that Shelby's cell phone was at the scene of the crime?
There was a question later on that was asked about that, and I think Jimbo Collins was the one that asked him the question about it. Was him and his wife was present at the time, and he said, "Don't you know that they can ping cell phones?" And then she just right out of the blue just said, "Even if we took the battery out of it." So, that's all I know about that.
And you've stated that KSP has your fingerprints. Is that correct?
Yeah, I got them. They should have them.
And that you had an alibi.
Yes.
Have you stated that you had special response people watching John Paul Madden?
No,
So you're denying that statement today.
I don't remember that.
Let me go back to a couple more things.
Can we go back to the question about paying people?
About what?
About paying people.
You're
I've
gonna move
already-
No,
yeah.
no, we're not going back to that.
Sustain the objection on that.
We're not going
Let's
there.
move on.
Did you save the file that you allegedly gave to Shelby Shell in the car?
No, I never seen the
That
file after.
12-inch file?
Never seen the file after that.
Oh.
Don't know what happened to it.
Didn't give it to the police, obviously.
I don't remember anything about it. He may have put it in the bag. I don't know what was in the bag. I said
And you said Rodney King shot at Shelby Shell first, correct?
that's what he told me.
And you said that Rodney King had to give him a code for the safe, correct?
He said something about a code. I can't remember exactly.
And you said you were a bounty hunter for 12 years, correct?
I've been a bounty hunter about 17 or 18 years.
And there's no position of bounty hunter in the state of Kentucky, correct?
No,
And you drove Shelby Shell to Dehoyt, and he got out of the car and left a gun in the car, but you let him back in the car, correct?
he had the door open as he was using the bathroom.
And so no time on Brother's Day did you report to the police that you were afraid of Shelby Shell or that he had committed a crime.
I was scared of Shelby. I was afraid.
You didn't report that to the police, correct?
Good point.
You didn't report it to Trooper Cottle or anybody at the roadblock, correct?
No, huh?
And I'll go back just a little bit. You had mentioned something about the internet. You have access to the internet, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You're on Facebook, for example.
Yes, ma'am.
And so you had 6 days with internet access to look up things about this crime. And you even said that you looked up some stuff on the
Yeah,
internet,
I
correct?
did.
Okay. That's all the questions I have for you. There may be redirect.
Any redirect?
No, you're.
All right, is this witness excused?
Subject to recall, subject to rebuttal.
All right, you may step down. Mr. Shell, you're still subject to recall, so hang around. Okay.